Okay, so you'll remember a while ago, Justin Trudeau stood up in the House of Commons when it came to light that there were several people that had gone and fight with ISIS, returning to Canada, that his priority was to, quote, reintegrate these people back into Canada. And you'll know that he's spent a lot of time talking about de-radicalization and de-radicalizing ISIS fighters, whatever you want to call them. So I'm back in Ottawa today, and I got access to this document that it's from Public Safety Canada, and it talks about the government's sort of strategy in this regard. And I have to share this with you. I just finished reading it, and here's the takeaway. So the government over the next few years is going to spend over $35 million on this effort. So that's a lot of money. You'd think that they should get some pretty good metrics. Now, I don't know, you and me, you would think that if they're going to spend $35 million to prevent terrorism, that one of the objectives should be to prevent terrorism. But here's what the document says. So first of all, it's an over 20-page document. It's the performance measurement and evaluation strategy for the Center for Community Engagement and Violence Prevention. So first of all, the budget for this is, as I said, over $35 million, and over half of that is going to bureaucrat salary. So it's not even going to, any sort of community organizations or let's even say to the RCMP. It's going to bureaucrats who are going to start up this new office. And in the letter itself that accompanied this document, it says that travel and employee benefits and whatnot aren't included in this cost projection, but that the approach to this is, quote, and this is on page 1, consistent with the new deliverology approach of government. So I knew when I saw that it was going to be pretty bad, but when I started reading through it, I'm like, well, what are the objectives? Like, what are we spending $35 million to do? One of the objectives is to promote the public relations of the office itself. So you would think that the first objective would be to stop terrorism, but no. Let me tell you what it says. Enhance the credibility and trust in this office. That seems a little weird to me. So let me just get a few things for you here. I just wanted to come live to you with this. So in the entire document, not once does it talk about detecting threats or monitoring people who have been found to have radicalized terrorist ideology. And in fact, it talks about working with stakeholders. In the front end of the document, it defines radicalization as a variety of ways, but it talks about beliefs can fall along a wide spectrum of political and religious ideologies. But then in the stakeholders that this office is supposed to work with, it doesn't talk once about religious organizations or working with them. And I thought that was kind of strange too. It has pages and pages of complicated org charts set up with bureaucrats to do things that I can't quite tell what it's supposed to do. A deputy minister level committee, many committees of bureaucrats. And then the best part is something called the Performance Measurement Strategy Matrix. So for spending $35 million to prevent terrorism, this is the outputs that you're going to get for your money. Engagement and support of multi-sector collaboration. Number of organizations engaged by the CRV office. Significant products to support policy. Advice and knowledge projects. Number of requests for information received. Funding agreements. Multi-sector partnerships are established and supported. Number of events, conferences, and symposia. I'm reading through this and I don't want to see number of terrorist-related activities prevented, number of radicalized individuals engaged with and prevented from achieving or violence occurring. monitoring potential terrorist threats. No, that's not went in there. Actually, some of the metrics on this page are all about how many funding applications were received. Actually, several of the metrics are related to that. And at the back of this, in the last couple of years of the program, what they're going to do is spend a bunch of your money on evaluating the effectiveness of this organization. And here's the number one question that they're going to ask. What need was the CRV, the Radicalized Violence Office, originally intended to address? Does this need persist? So at the end of spending $35 million, they're going to ask what the office was supposed to do in the first place. This right here is the epitome of bureaucracy. This is when the public service runs government instead of a minister. So essentially what the Liberals have done here, what Ralph Goodale has done here, is said, okay, we know that we're taking a lot of political heat because the Conservatives are pointing out that there are people who have gone to fight with ISIS, a terrorist death cult, returning to Canada. Conservatives are pointing out the fact that there have been several instances of radicalized violence in Canada, so we need to throw money at the problem so that we can say that we're doing something. But this is a perfect example of how spending is not an outcome. So they have spent $35 million of your money, and not once in all of this grand bureaucratese deliverology document have they actually talked about monitoring threats, preventing threats, or even engaging with people, like people that are actually going to be radicalized once in this document. They're going to hire all sorts of bureaucrats to do this. They're going to pay them benefits and salary. And at the end of it, at the end of all of this, they're going to ask the question, what is our office supposed to do? This is the Liberals on public safety, right here. $35 million for nothing. I'll make sure that we're holding them to account on this, that this is the sort of thing that you need to tell your neighbors and whatnot as we lead up to the 2019 election, that the Liberals have absolutely no credibility on public safety. And you know what makes me even more angry is we're spending $35 million for a public relations activity. And for any of you who are watching this saying, oh, well, they're going to spend some money on grants and contributions, this a small amount, and we don't even know which organizations are going to get that, or how the program is designed, or what the metrics are in terms of preventing violence related to that funding. So tell your neighbors that this is the response to public safety, and they have to make sure that Justin Trudeau is voted out the next election, because this is not how you ensure that people that have terrorist threats to our country are monitored or minimized. Working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.